same with Alex
We're
Wood.
live, by the way.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
Joe Rogan starts his podcast like that. He just like has a conversation. He like starts and like whenever he thinks he's had a good moment, he's just like,
Yeah. That's cool, man. I'm down with it. Yeah. Well, so anyways, welcome to the YouTube Wise Take, NBA Wise Take for FanDuel and DraftKings for March 1st. We're in March now, Paulie.
Yeah.
Quick month. It happened in February. It's now March, so we had NFL's done, and now we're on to a little bit of NBA, and then in about 4 weeks from today, we have the opening day for the major leagues. So that'll be good. Or last night, or it's Thursday still for me. It's almost Friday for you, but
me too. But
yeah,
let's talk a little baseball for a minute, man. Come on, give me like 5. Like let's what should we talk about?
Well, we said we started out with Harper to the Phillies for 13 years is way too much. Yeah. I heard that the Dodgers offered him 4 years at $45 million, and he would have been a free agent again at 30.
Mm-hmm.
I would have took that, but
why?
I mean,
what if you get hurt?
You're still getting $45 million for the next 4 years.
I know, but 330, like you just set forever. It's over.
Mm-hmm. I think it's going to set back the Phillies, though. I mean, they better win in the next few years.
Yeah, I mean, if they win, more than once in the next few years, it's not a setback. But A-Rod, Soriano, Pujols, we've seen these guys that get these monster contracts. Pujols hasn't been, good in a long time. Like since he came to the Angels, it's just dead money, and the Angels. They're like not going to be able to afford Trout. I think it's next year or 2 years from now. Yeah, oh my goodness, like because you're paying Albert Pujols, like who hasn't done anything for your organization. I'm glad the Yankees didn't get in the mix of that stuff. You know what I mean? Like either one of those guys, Machado, either one. I don't think either are worth locking up your future for that long. I'd rather be more fluid than married to anyone.
So now, if you're the Phillies, you picked up Real Muto, Segura, and Harper now in all off season, 3 All-Stars. You have Nola as your number 1. Mm-hmm. You have Arrieta, Pivetta, your other pitchers. If I'm them, I try and sign Craig Kimbrell and shore up that bullpen now. He's still on the market.
Is he?
Yeah.
Is he good?
He's still on the market. Who's their closer?
Phillies, his name's like Neris.
Yeah, Hector Neris. Yeah. So, nobody that good. So I don't know. Like, I'm just thinking if you want to win the East now, because we were talking about it. Like, I still like the Braves. I like that talent. I think, with Acuna, Freeman, Albies, and they're pitching with, Folty, Tehran, and they got Gausman. Gausman was clutch.
And they got a couple young kids. That kid,
Newcomb.
Tico Toussaint, like he looked good.
Toussaint,
yeah. They got a couple kids. Another lefty, stocky kid, kind of looked like Mike Hampton. Can't think of his name, but he pitched a little
Soroka.
bit. Yeah, Soroka. Yeah. So I think they're probably like a year away. They're just a little too young. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I don't think the Nationals are just automatically done because they were pretty stockpiled with the bats and the arms. They, I don't know exactly all their moves. I know they got rid of Gio Gonzalez, but they're they still got Scherzer. They still got they went and got that good pitcher Corbin from the Diamondbacks.
Arizona. They got Dozier.
They got that stud who came up last year,
Soto.
Yeah, and they got Victor Robles that's gonna, be an everyday starter this year. So they're pretty good. I think the Mets could be very good too. Like if they stay healthy, I think they got the best starting pitching staff, like probably in baseball. You know what I mean? Like up and down.
As long as they stay healthy,
Yeah, that's the
been
big
their
thing.
key. Yeah.
And they're already starting the year without Cespedes, which is really big. But we kind of saw this year, like, there was a lot available mid-season. Like, teams that were like throwing it in, trying to open up money, they were just like giving talented guys away for nothing at the trade deadline. So, like, if you get to that point of the year and you decide, like, yeah, we're going to make a push, you're able to, like, improve your team a lot at the trade deadline. It's not like, 5-10 years ago where barely any moves would happen. Now it's like, it was wild, the trade deadline this year.
Well, you can almost say that the NL East is a pretty damn good division now, except for the Marlins.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
yeah, very
and
good.
then in the Central, you got 3 teams in the Central with the Cardinals, the Brewers, and the Cubs. And then in the West, you got the Dodgers.
Don't sleep on the Pirates, man. I think they're going to be there.
Yeah, I mean, I think, guys like Jameson Taillon has got to make the jump. You know what I mean? Like, he's got to be their number one.
Yeah.
I'm really high on the Cardinals this year. I think they made some good pickups. And I think that, guy like Brewers, you can't sleep on them just because what they did last year.
That's a team I like. Like, if not Ben Sheets, but the pitcher that they lost for the whole year. Ben Sheets was like 5 years ago, but Jimmy Nelson, right?
Jimmy Nelson, a wise take. We love Jimmy Nelson.
If he's like back to like all-star form, Jimmy Nelson, then they're like a CC Sabathia pickup at the break away from being really good, because they have probably, top 3 bullpen in the National League, and we saw like that pivot in the game last year where, it wasn't about starters going deep anymore. We even had closers starting games, so it's. They're like a playoff ready kind of team, maybe missing 1 or 2 pieces. I'm not fully familiar with what the Cardinals did outside of Goldschmidt, and I know they got some decent young arms.
They signed Andrew Miller.
Okay.
So that's a good thing to shore up their bullpen too. So
sure.
And they got some good young arms. Jack Flaherty is one that's really good.
They got a couple. They've got a couple.
It's funny. The starter thing, the reliever thing that the trend.
Yep.
It's kind of funny how that kind of blends into DFS a little bit too.
Yeah.
Like especially on DraftKings, when you use a second pitcher, now you can pick a guy like that guy Ryan Yarborough he would come in second, and he'd be in price, and he'd throw 4 innings, and if he might get the win because he threw the second through the 6th. That good. I'm not much of a DraftKings player, so I'm more one pitcher site. So, but I think it's gonna be interesting. Like this year with DFS, with baseball, it's just, I think that the trends are just gonna be the same as always. It's gonna take us a little bit of a hard time in the beginning, and then May we're gonna heat up. And then like always, but
or we might just
come out of the gate,
jump out the gate smashing with. That dude on the White Sox that we touted who hit like 3 home runs on opening day. That was amazing. What's his name? Matt Davidson.
Yeah.
That was awesome.
That's the thing. I think I like guys that are – I've always found more success, actually, believe it or not, in the beginning of the year, because I feel like the guys that aren't so stat-driven, they go on more feel.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like we kind of know what we're going on instinct more. And then once the stats kind of – get in and the NBA guys come over. You see that more people playing in May and June because the NBA is over, and it's a little bit harder, I think, in the middle of the season. Yeah, but but the thing about baseball that I love is that there's always a slate. I mean, every day, midday slate sometimes.
Those are the best.
Yeah, just throwing a
afternoon Eastern time, 9:30 in the morning your time. Just get a little 5-gamer and. So, yeah, it's coming, man. It is coming. And, tomorrow is actually the last day to get the baseball package at a massive discount. So take advantage.
That's right. Yeah. It's $125, $50 discount. So, all right, let's talk about the NBA slate for Friday. We have 7-game slate. Probably, I don't know. I guess the best game on the slate. What do you think? The Lakers Bucks or the
To be honest, I have
yeah.
no idea who's on it. This is the first time I look at it.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you what. Anthony Davis is 7,600 on FanDuel tomorrow.
Yeah, I ain't playing Anthony Davis. He's just, they're not playing him enough. What did he play, like 20 minutes last game?
Set out the fourth.
Yeah, he's not going to play any in the fourth at all. Like, I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
So we got Milwaukee at LA. Man, like, LeBron's, like, falling apart at the seams. Like, he might, like, retire next year. Like, as this thing just, like, falls apart, I think he's just going to call it quits. Like, oh, this was nice. I thought it was going to work out, but yeah, I don't got it. Have you seen like all the like, the lack of defense, and then like, him acting like holier than thou, and then like, taking off games for load management because he's out like, recording like CDs with rappers and shit. He didn't play in like the Warriors game. Like, he's a huge hypocrite, Like, he's not playing any defense whatsoever, and there's these clips of like the other team scoring, and he'll look at like Kuzma and be like, yeah. Like, it's like, yeah, he's like not a leader, he's just all about himself. He's like, just like he's tried to like, instead of like earning, like his titles and accolades, he just like, tries to like go to a team and like bring the best players with him, like Wade and Bosh and, I'll take Dwayne Wade, come to Cleveland. Oh, you're washed up? I'll ship you back out. And like, now I'll go to the Lakers and I got to get AD and it didn't work out. Like, none of those, like, he's got a good team, like Brandon Ingram and Lonzo Ball and
Kuzma,
like those guys were good. And he had Julius Randle last year, and like, because this started last year, those trades that he made with the Cavs, like getting rid of Clarkson, to the Cavs from the Lakers. And like, that was like, he knew he was going to Lakers, and he's a cancer. I'm like, I've always hated him, but now it's like, it's like I finally like, it's like I was right. Like, look, this guy's nowhere. It's like you don't even hear the GOAT conversations anymore. It's like, nah, it's.
Well, you see his body deteriorating too slowly because all those extra playoff games that you play, just like it took a toll on Kobe's body. I mean, I'm not a huge basketball fan, but what I watched Kobe Bryant do in my day, watching him, I don't care what I've ever seen. I've always said that Kobe is way more like Jordan than LeBron ever has. And
Kobe, I think had the fucking winner's edge, like he would, kill.
That killer instinct.
LeBron, he's not clutch. He's, whatever. I don't even talk.
And LeBron, I always thought was more like Magic. He distributed. He kind of got more guys involved and stuff.
He was bigger for his position than anyone. Yeah,
that's what I always thought. And it just seemed like when they started, comparing LeBron to Jordan, I'm like, wait a minute, I just don't ever see that. I just thought their games were different. Kobe, to me, I felt like was always the guy. Oh my God, Kobe's taking over a game just like Jordan used to.
Just like Jordan did.
Like Kobe would hit these shots, and you'd be like, how does he hitting that? These hot streaks that he would get on would just be amazing.
Yeah.
Kobe was amazing to me. I don't know why he should be in the conversation of the greatest players ever.
He is.
Yeah.
He really is.
He doesn't give enough credit just because of all this shit with Shaq and the stuff with Colorado and.
And who else really like should be in that conversation, and like old timers do, but no one in our generation does, is Larry Bird. And like the game was different, but he was so dominant, and he had that killer edge. Like he would get into fist fights on the court. Like, the game was really different then. It was way more physical, but he was, like such a winner. And like you go back and watch like, like documentaries on him, and like you'll be amazed at some of them. He played an entire game with his left hand and went for like 52 points. Like
there were rivalries back then. There's no rivalries now.
No,
man. I just remember as a kid watching those Lakers Celtics games. Those are one of my first memories as a kid, just watching it. I'm not even a huge basketball fan, but watching those watching the Lakers and the Kings back in the early 2000s with Shaq and Kobe.
Lakers then, and then Pistons and the Bulls. Like,
Pistons.
The last good one was like the Knicks and like
Pacers,
the Knicks and Pacers. Like after that Knicks team fell apart, maybe that Pistons team. It was like the last badass team with like Rip Hamilton and I forget the big center that like he wasn't
the team that went in and beat the Lakers.
Yeah, they beat the Lakers
with those three with Peyton and Malone and Kobe and Shaq.
Yep.
The dream team, they said.
Chauncey Billups. That was probably the last tough team.
Yeah, so it just the rivalries are dead in the NBA, and I think if there was like you can't like the rivalries the last couple of years just between the Cavs and the Warriors, they don't hate each other. It's just like those teams hated each other. Like the 30 for 30 they did on the Lakers Celtics rivalry, that is amazing. The 3-part series. That is just amazing when they get into some of those series and you just like it brings back like how good those series actually were, those games were. Yep. So let's get into this before we can talk. We could talk about sports all night, Paulie.
Yeah.
Kind of reminds me of Thursday nights like we did in the NFL show. Yeah. But anyways, talking to me about some point guards, up to about 5K, and then we'll go down to Value Town. What you like?
Like the first guy I'm looking at is Kyrie Irving. He's 8,900. Celtics desperately need to get right, and they're at home against Washington. This figures to be a decent spot. I don't really know what else is within, but I think in the Celtics get right game, you see Kyrie just go off and everything's better because he's. I think there's like this little, there's a couple guys playing behind him that, last year he missed the playoffs and, I think he's already kind of like hinting he's going to go to New York with Durant and like the team doesn't like that. There's something not jiving well over there. And they just got embarrassed 2 games in a row. So if the get right game happens against Washington, Kyrie could be one of the higher scorers on the slate. That being said, I'm assuming I'm going to see things I like better, like Damian Lillard against Toronto. He's 8,400 on DraftKings, probably around 9K on FanDuel. It's been a while since he's gone ballistic, and on the road against Toronto, they'll probably need him to do that to beat a tough team. So I like that. Also, Enes Kanter can't leave the country. They won't allow him into Toronto, so he'll be short one kind of scorer.
He's it's just funny to hear that. That's all.
I don't know the whole story, but his government wants to kill him for for speaking out and coming to America and exposing some of their atrocities, I guess. And I don't know. Kemba Walker against Brooklyn, you just always want to be attacking Brooklyn. You've been on every Hornet show lately, the drill. They moved Jeremy Lamb to the second unit, and it's just kind of boosted everybody. Kemba has gone for 50 plus in 11 of his last 15 games. Brooklyn's one of the best possible opponents for that. And he's 8-2. That's a very good price on DraftKings. He's probably 9-2-ish on FanDuel, something
You're close. You're close. The question I have, on FanDuel, Kyrie is almost 10K, and then you got Kemba at 93, and then Damian Lillard at 94. I don't really feel like we need to play Kyrie at that price.
Yeah.
What you're telling me, at least right now. I mean,
no, I agree. Really none of them. I'd probably.
There's a couple guys down below that I think you're gonna like.
Yep, I think you're right. Trae Young has just been playing amazing. Listen to these logs. Going back 7 games: 54, 44, 49, 39, 51, and then 62. just, double-doubling, getting a ton of assists, scoring a ton of raw points. It's like he's figured it out, like, 'cause he was undersized and, he was turning the ball over a ton. And those numbers have started to come down. He's still getting like 2, 3, but like early in the year, he was like 6, 9, 10. So, and this team's been playing well. They're not the worst team by any stretch. So, um, I think people are like hesitant to pay 8-1 for him, and against the Bulls, who just are terrible against point guard. He's just they don't even have a backup point guard right now, which is part of like why he's getting all these high like performances, because he's on the court a lot more and he's always got the ball in his hands. We love targeting the Clippers. De'Aaron Fox in Sacramento taking on the Clippers. I don't mind Fox at 72. Elf against Phoenix, little revengey. He's too cheap at 5,600. I like the way he's been playing lately. That is appealing as well. And I think you got to keep Karis LeVert, man. He got me a 0.5 last game. 0.5, 1.5, 1.5. Like, I guess he's not fully healthy yet from that injury. Another pretty deep position. Rajon Rondo, 5K. He started last game. He played phenomenally. And like, if the Lakers are serious about winning, they should play Rondo, because that guy fucking plays hard as shit. And he's like an old school veteran. Like, watching that game, like, he's short. Like, LeBron's sitting there, like, waiting for the ball to come down, and like Rondo comes flying out of nowhere and grabs the rebound, and then he's like across half court, like before anyone knows anything, like attacking. Like he's always been a very good basketball player. He might have attitude problems, and that's why he's bounced from other teams. But like, if they really want to win, they run that offense through him, and I think the coach knows that. I think that's why I moved him back to the starting lineup. And against Milwaukee, like, yeah, I'll play Rondo for sure. A lot.
What about Chris Dunn?
Like, this would be his first game back from injury. He played 227. Oh no, so he played yesterday. Played 31 minutes, only got 26, only took 8 shots. Like, since Otto Porter came over, it's like another mouth to feed. Like, Levine and Markkanen are just so aggressive. Like, he really takes a back seat. I mean, I don't mind the price, but like, it's been a while since he's gone for like 35 or more, and like, 1 or 2 times he does it, and it's another long while till you see it again. It's like, not on this slate.
No. All right. Take us down to Value Town then. Anybody you see down below that you're hard about?
Hard. Tomas Satoransky's 4,900.
He's 5,400 on FanDuel.
Yeah, that's a good price.
Is he going to start?
Yeah, he's definitely going to start. Hasn't been as aggressive as he was prior to his injury. He missed about 2 weeks. This will be his 4th game back, but the minutes are there. The assists are certainly there. And, he had a 6-steal game in one of those first 3 back. Like, it's, only a matter of time before he does put it together. And like, he's going for high 20s, like not playing great, not shooting great. It's, not too far off where he puts that together, and those tournaments in that 4-9 or 5-4, those are tournament winning kind of plays. I'm cool with that. What else we got down here? Over here, you know?
There's nobody.
Pat Bev against
Yeah.
Sacramento, you know? Like, dude's been playing well, big minutes. He's gone for 38, 45 in his last two, including a near trip dub. With just huge minutes, 39 and 36. Surprisingly, the Clippers have been like better trading away Tobias Harris and getting way paced up. Like that's a very fast game. You'll want multiple pieces from it. That's all I really see right now. You know, I don't have like the injuries at all, so I don't know if there's like plays that I'm potentially unaware of. But you know, whatever.
So did you see the news in the NFL today?
News in the NFL? No, unless you're talking about like the Patriots owner or something.
No, we got a handle on that. Jason Witten is coming back. He re-signed with the Cowboys.
Jason Witten, like he retired and now he's coming back.
Yeah, he's coming back.
That's wild.
Yeah, I mean, I guess he's still gonna be good. I guess.
Yeah.
I mean, whatever. I thought it was weird that he retired. To be honest with you, so when I was like, you know, it's okay. He'll never be as good as the man, Mr. Gates. So you can come back and try and do what you want, but Antonio Gates is the man. And I thought that.
I completely agree with you. By the way, like he was more of like, you know, in a good system. Didn't get injured very often. Very consistent, but he wasn't the threat that Antonio Gates was at his point. By no means.
So good.
Solid. He's not in that first like rung of you know. He just had like longevity and volume, you know, sort of like LeBron.
Yeah. All right. Talk to me about shooting guards, Paulie.
SGs. So who we got? Who do we got on this? So we're gonna have
Beal.
Yeah. You know. Fucking Brad Beal. Guy can ball, you know. I like scoring guards against Boston. 8,700 on DraftKings. I mean, he's been just playing phenomenally. Boston's been playing faster. You know, could be. D'Angelo Russell, you know, I've been fading it. It, you know, hasn't really killed me that much. I mean, he's been, you know, putting up good scores, but his price is so high, and then he does have a bunch of duds mixed in there as well. Like, now you got Dinwiddie back. It's just, you know, too crowded in my opinion. You know, Lou Williams is going to be the next guy I'll be interested in at 7,100. What's he on FanDuel? He's got to be like
he's 76.
76. That's a good FanDuel price too.
That's a good FanDuel price. Okay.
Yeah, very good. Sweet Lou, Buddy Hield at 68 against the Clippers. Like pretty much everybody on Sacramento is going to be in play, but Buddy Hield's got the most upside, I think, out of everyone on the Kings. Like he goes for 40 plus more often than anyone. Maybe Marvin Bagley can contend him, but Bagley's going to be out for a few weeks, so they're going to rely on Buddy a little bit more, I would say. You know, I'm really impressed with Brandon Ingram lately. Like, you know, he's gone for 44, 38, 49, 38 in his last 4 games. You know, they just aren't really elevating his price. His price actually cheaper. He's 6'5", you know, and against Milwaukee, getting, you know, paced way up. Like if the Lakers can hang in that game, it's like, you know, all hands on deck situation. Although Rondo could kind of mess with some of it. We got to see. If Rondo starts, it's not as appealing.
What about Bogdanovich?
Yeah, Bogdanovich. You know, the Pacers Bogdanovich went for 50 today. The Kings Bogdanovich, who you're referring to, went for 58 against Milwaukee yesterday. You know, wings against Milwaukee. You know, the Lakers. That's the Brandon Ingram.
The Clippers.
Yeah, they're playing the Clippers now. I'm just saying, he just went for 58 against Milwaukee. You know, we just talked about Ingram. But yeah, you know, I generally don't like to go to guys coming off like the best game of their lives.
Yeah.
But I mean, his price is only 5.4 on DraftKings.
He's 64 on FanDuel, $900 less than Buddy Hield, who you just talked about.
Buddy Hyde.
Yeah.
You know, you got Jeremy Lamb right beneath him at 5,300, and like, you know, he's really taken to the second unit role. He's gone for 42 and 50 in his last two games, and you know, huge usage on the second unit, just taking more shots than ever before. You know, instead of kind of competing with Kemba Walker, he, you know, got it all to himself, and it's really benefiting both of them. The team hasn't won since doing it; they're 0-3. But they played Houston, Golden State, and Brooklyn, you know, decent teams. You know, but both those guys are really too cheap for what they've been doing. Nick Batum, like, you know, we fucking nailed the Nick Batum thing. No one, he was like 6% the other day.
I know.
You know, like you see, like you go to his game logs, there's these 4 greens in a row, like. We just caught that wave and all the way up. You know,
my boy Nick Batum, man.
Yeah, I don't see why you get off this stop like against Brooklyn with the same scenario. Yeah, I'm in. Keep playing Batum. You know, he almost
Batum it.
Batum it. You know, there's a lot in shooting guard. Like,
well, Batum is small forward too on FanDuel.
Yes, he is. Yes, he
is.
It's
good. So, and for you, those of you in the chat, I probably am higher than anybody in the chat. I just want to let you guys know that. I could probably outsmoke anybody else in the chat. Trust me.
I could outsmoke you, dog.
How many pots have you smoking? You know, somebody said that I seem very confused, or I'm higher than this person is.
But isn't that nice? You know, like, you know, we're chilling out. Like, you know, you're getting information, you know, like, some maybe, I don't know. So what?
Join the nation, get a day pass, and you'll see the, you know, the real plays, and you'll see me on, you know, with my real sense of humor and stuff, and we build a lineup and stuff like that. So,
like realistically, the NBA, you know, like, all of this isn't going to matter tomorrow because like 900 things are going to change. This is about process and like, you know, end of the day, kick back, talk about help the people out there that aren't subscribed. You know, they're like, you know, when I was first coming up in DFS, I was looking for people to like, you know, teach me the game, and I wanted to listen to every content I could, and there wasn't much, you know, and that was like part of why we started this thing. But
yeah, there was nothing like this to come on and like talk about the slate for free.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? For the next day. I mean, it was nice when we first started it. Almost now, what? It'd be 2 years. It'd be 2 years now, yeah. But yeah, so no love for Drew Holiday or Devin Booker. He's a game time decision anyways. Or Levine. No, nobody like that.
Who's the game time D? Booker. Or Holiday? Yeah. You know, ever since they got Tyler Johnson and, you know, DeAndre Ayton back from the little hiatus, like Kelly Oubre moved into the starting lineup, but like, you know, he really hasn't had big ceiling games, you know, like I don't know. I feel like his role's diminished a tad. Like, I don't know. I'm gonna wait for his price to come down.
Oh, you know who else is on the slate? I get our freaking punt that we love to punt, Wayne Selden. Our punt.
Oh, you got another buddy on the slate, though.
Oh, of course. My buddy Damari Carroll.
Yeah.
You know, we got Damari Carroll, Nick Batum, and Wayne Selden. Those are like my. So do we have any other value shooting guards besides Wayne Selden?
Yeah. I like can't believe that DeAndre Bembry is min-priced on DraftKings. I mean, he just went for 43 against Minnesota. And, like, the games prior to that, he went for 20, 21. played 34 minutes the last game. Like, I know Prince just got back from injury, but that's really cheap, 3K. Kevin Huerter is 3,500. Like, what? Those both guys are really cheap. Huerter had been on like a minutes limit the last few. I don't even know what his injury was, but he played 30 against Minnesota, got 20, and he's a guy that was gone for 40 when his shot's falling, and they like playing him a lot of minutes. He probably a candidate to play some backup point guard. Like, I mean, I don't love any of these things.
He looks like the Unabomber.
Yeah, he looks like.
What about Bazemore?
Yeah.
The last few times. I mean, because they have a couple guys hurt, right?
The thing is that now Prince is back. Now Huerter is back, and they just they've got a lot of guys, and Trae Young just really does everything himself, and he never comes off the court, and it is limiting everybody else.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. There's not a ton. I mean, there was so much good shit up there. I'm glad there's not a ton down here.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like this is going to be the position to punt.
Yeah.
Let's see what else is going on in the world of sports before we move to small forward. Baseball, we're just chilling. You see, this is the time. Do you watch the AAF, the Alliance football?
No.
Have you watched any of that at all?
No, I don't have time for any sports in my life. I actually gave up college sports. I used to love college sports, but that's Saturdays my girl gets. I don't,
Yeah.
Sports all day long, and it's I don't have room in my life for any other sports. You know what I mean? It's just I think it's cool. I think it should work. People want to watch football, and you're getting talented people are gonna go there, and you're gonna have guys Pac-Man Jones, who just got arrested again, and he'll get kicked out of the NFL, but he'll win.
Johnny Manziel.
Yeah, guys will have a second chance into the NFL through that probably. They've been there for 3 years, nose clean, doing well. Bring them back up, and you know what I mean. I think it's good.
Somebody told me something a long time ago, and it's so true. They're like, the older you get, the more you have to trim your sports tree. You know what I'm saying? When you're a kid, man, I watched so much, college basketball, college football, the March Madness tournament. Now, if I fill out a bracket, it's literally 5 minutes before the tournament starts, and I'm just clicking names I don't even know.
Yeah.
Just to do it. It's it's funny that this is the way it is. Basically, for me, it's baseball, football, and that's about it. I have a little wrestling. I like WWE, of course, but
yeah.
But yeah.
I'm with you. Basketball, baseball, football. Those are my three. I don't mind golf. I think it's cool to play DFS, keep in touch with, and really it. And I like poker. I know it's not really a sport, but it's a recreational adult activity. I could watch that all the time. I like playing it. But
I like masturbating too. That's a good sport.
Yeah, that's a good sport.
That's a great sport. Seeing how long you can masturbate for. Anyways, small forwards. We got the two highest priced guys on the slate at the same position, LeBron and Giannis. Somebody just said in the chat the Greek is hurt. Is that did he mean Giannis is hurt? Or is he playing tonight? Are they even playing? I don't even know. They're playing tonight, Paulie?
They did not play tonight, but I feel like he played the last game, but in limited fashion.
Mm-hmm.
And
yes, limited minutes, I think.
Yeah, he did not do well at all. He went for 33.
And the last time I was on the show, he had the freaking bust of the whole week, Bledsoe. Literally the bust of the week, Bledsoe.
Yeah, and then Bledsoe went bonkers.
The next day, huh?
Yeah. Wow, huge game, 67.
He said he's likely to be limited. That's what they're saying in the chat.
Yeah, so they got a 2.5 game lead over the Raptors, and it'll be more likely that Giannis gets games off down the stretch as the Bucks pull away. Load management. Interesting. I mean, whatever. We'll probably there hasn't been like a Giannis isn't playing that we get after lock this year. That like those kind of days are done. It's like weird players sometimes. Westbrook, we'll know. And if he's out, then the usual suspects will become chalk. And yeah, pretty hard to pay up for Giannis, knowing that they're like going to be cautious with him. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. What about LeBron? Obviously, we know you don't like him. Do you play him much usually and generally or no?
Yeah, in the right moments. I was
He's
on the
been on a
fringe
heater lately.
the last game. Yeah, like sort of, like 64 at 12K is not really great. There's been other guys.
5x.
Yeah, I mean, which we'll take 5x, but there's been better plays than him on most slates. You know what I mean? Like, but yeah, he's 11-1 on DraftKings. I mean, we haven't really ran into a ton of value, and
well, we're not right now at 11:52 on the East Coast the night before. Value don't open up until 5 o'clock tomorrow.
Yeah. Giannis being out does give a boost to James, and then Rondo's presence would affect it probably more negatively if he's in there. So there's factors we gotta pay attention to. But Kawhi Leonard at 8-8 is in a pretty good spot against Portland. Kevin Durant seems to own Portland. Him and Kawhi have a very similar game. That stretchy, super aggressive, small forward does very well against Portland. I don't think many people would come here because Kawhi has not really done well in a while, and I think that's a product of a lot of other guys emerging on his team, like Pascal Siakam, Marc Gasol. But this is a pretty decent spot. Now the price is kind of ticking down, and I like these are both are contenders in their conferences, so this could be a very a good game where the stars come out. He's interesting. As a pivot off of LeBron, you save whatever that is, 26 hundo, and upgrade another position. So just something to think about as we scroll down. Danilo Gallinari is 6-1. He really hasn't had massive games since Tobias is traded away, but he's shown some glimmers of 40s. You kind of know that he can get you a 40 and just the game staying close, and maybe Lou Williams being a tad off. And at 6K, that's very nice.
What about Mirotic? Especially if
I mean if Giannis is out, oh yeah, and even if Giannis is in, Mirotic, when
he late minutes, right? I mean,
when he's hot, he puts up points in a hurry. He can get blocks, steals. Where is Mirotic though?
He's 5,800 on FanDuel. That's a pretty good price from what you're telling me.
Yes. Maybe he must be power forward center on DraftKings. So we'll come back to him. But yeah, I would, I think he's interesting. 7 games is not that deep, but this slate is deep. We'll see. We'll see. I got to look and see the minutes, who he's playing with, what the usage. But definitely a guy that we got our eye on. That's it.
All right. Anything down at Value Town? I mean, what about let me ask you something. Obviously, we've talked about Nick Batum. Obviously, we love him. Again, let's play him. He's 6,100 on FanDuel. What about Harrison Barnes?
Yeah, no.
No?
Maybe actually. Now that Bagley's going to be out for a little bit, it's I like every other starter more than him though. Literally each one. Willie Cauley-Stein with no Bagley, Buddy Hield, Bogdanovich, and Fox. He's the last of that group.
Yeah.
And I think that he's he'll go for like 40 and, help you win a slate the least often of those guys. You know what I mean? Like similar to like what he was on the Warriors, surrounded by all these better players. And he was like, this is cool. I'll just, ride these coattails and I'll play hard every now and then.
All right. So take us down to Value Town for small forward. Tell me, do we have poor man's DeMar Carroll on the slate? Tell me about Mikal Bridges, especially if Booker sits.
Booker sits, yeah. I mean, he's still got to fight with a handful of guys that are just better than him. But I mean, he's shown us that he can do it. That was before Tyler Johnson was added to the team. That was, TJ Warren and Booker were out. You know what I mean? Like they're before Kelly Oubre got traded over. Like they're just, he's another guy that's just not going to do it that often. But Mo Harkless has been just like on a tear. 1, 2, 3, 4 games in a row over 30, and his price has not gotten over 3,800 on DraftKings. What is he on FanDuel? He's
probably 53.
Okay, 2 different worlds. Yeah.
It's funny because usually FanDuel is the loose pricing.
Not this year.
Yeah.
Not this year. Not up in here. Yeah, with Enes Kanter not going to Toronto, maybe you take a stab at Al Farouk Aminu. His price has to be cheap on FanDuel, right? Like 4.8 maybe. Oh, he's power forward. You can tell me when we get in that. Move next door. That's it. That's all I got to say about it.
Yeah. All right, let's move on to power forwards. There's nobody over 10K. We got the Mark Man at 9K, and and we talked about Anthony Davis at 7,600. You say you ain't playing him.
How can you play a guy that's not gonna play in the fourth quarter? Like you're never like, hey, you got me my 50. It's cool. Like you're always gonna be like, oh, please come put him back in. Like, come on. Like the whole 12 minutes you're gonna be like, please, like, come on. It's like, there's like a minute and a half. The team's like down by 20. Like, imagine if they put him in right now. And like, I could try. It's just like you're like self-torturing yourself. Just like move on.
Don't play him. Yeah,
he's over. Play Julius Randle. Against Phoenix. Yeah, play Julius Randle. He fucking went Offington against his former team. He's got a 49 and a 51 in his last 2. And I think that's just going to continue. He's back healthy, big usage, big shot attempts, big boy. Play him. If you don't want to play Kawhi, then I think you want to take a look at Siakam. He's good. And, he's similar to that, that spot that does well against Portland. John Collins is 7K on DraftKings. That's like, to a point where you just got to kick off buy signals. Like he went for 43, 39, and 40 in his last 3. And that's like 6X. Like, I don't know why his price is continuing to come down. And
he's 7,700 on FanDuel.
7.
7.
Yeah, I like that.
7.
Yeah, I like 7, and like
7.
Yeah. There's gonna be some stuff in value land that we got to discuss too. But Montrezl Harrell against the Marvin Bagley-less Kings. Like this is he's 6'4" on DraftKings. Let me guess what 7'6". 7-8 on FanDuel.
Harrell is 6,900. 69.
It's actually a decent price for FanDuel.
He's usually up high, more than that. I remember at times he's usually way more. He doesn't even start.
Yeah, you seem confused, but I had to do that. Al Horford against Washington, they just don't have anybody to defend bigs. He's, not too far removed from some monster games, and him and Kyrie have like a nice two-man game, pick and roll, and Horford is like a point guard and like a center's body. He does a little bit of everything. Like, when that Celtics thing comes back around, like him and Kyrie are going to be leading that charge. And it's 6-4 on DraftKings. Probably too expensive on FanDuel. I like that sound. Bobby Portis is 6K. He's been starting for the Wiz. Celtics kind of struggle versus bigs. As long as he doesn't get into foul trouble, like this is a smash spot for Bobby. I would venture to guess that he's had some good games against Boston. Let's sneak peek. Nope, no, he hasn't. Nope, not at all. Who else? Dwayne Dedmon. The poor guy only played 18 minutes because he just couldn't stop fouling Karl Anthony Towns, but he still went for 26. And, the 3 games prior to that, he played 33, 31, 26, and 23 against, teams equally as bad as the Chicago Bulls were, the nut worst against centers. And he's put up 30, 45, 40, and 29. Like, if he doesn't get into foul trouble, he's gonna crush his price here. So play some Dwayne Dead. This slate's pretty loaded. What did you say it was? 7 games? Like
7 games, yeah.
Million good plays. Jabari Park. Oh, that's Value Town. All right. That's it. I feel like I've just talked about every single player.
I know, you talked about everybody.
I have a model, right? And literally there's only 2 guys under 5x right now. Like everybody's projecting over 5x. Like that's.
Do you have a name for your model? Like Kate Upton or something, or?
Yeah, Bonesaw.
Bonesaw. I'm trying to name a hot model, and he's naming some sort of weapon. Shows you where our mind is.
Yep.
Yeah, week from now I'm gonna be on a cruise. You know that, Paulie? Yeah, cruise right now. I'm gonna be on the open seas right now.
Yeah, that's right. You told me
drinking and partying.
Right? The Gulf
what?
of the Gulf of Mexico.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, we're going to Cozumel.
Yeah.
So I don't know. We're just going to New Orleans for a little bit. That'll be fun.
Yeah, you told me you got the balcony. You sprung nice room and
oceanfront balcony. Yeah.
You gotta have a balcony.
Yeah.
Must.
It'd be nice. Yeah, it's bigger too. And especially if you want to bang your brains out too, you gotta have a little more room.
Yeah, definitely room for banging.
Yeah, you do.
Banging a closet.
Trust me, guys. If you do one thing, you need room for banging. Anyways, let's go down to Value Town for power forwards. What do we got? I mean, there's a lot of there's a lot of no names guys I've never even heard of, man.
Yeah. First guy I want to know what his price is on FanDuel in particular is Harry Giles.
Harry Giles is 4,800.
Wow, they just fucking jacked him up. He's 100 off the minimum on DraftKings.
Oh, wow.
Right? Yeah, so, Marvin Bagley went down around beginning of the 3rd quarter. Harry Giles got 17 minutes, not much more than what he normally got, but the usage was cranked up. He took 13 shots instead of 3 and 4 that Bagley usually takes. Grabbed 7 bounds, a block, went for 30. Multiply that by 2 when he plays both halves. I mean, he's all in lock and load on DraftKings, and those fucks at FanDuel, I'll still play him. This was Check Diallo 2 weeks ago, and he's actually better than Check Diallo. He's
That was my question. What do you think about him tomorrow? I mean, because he feels like if Davis ain't gonna get a lot of minutes, would he get some more playing time? I mean, he's only 4,300. I mean, a week ago he went 10x.
Yeah.
6 days ago he went 10x.
Yep. What was his price then?
I don't know. I'm just saying it was on the 22nd. It couldn't be much more than that. I mean,
what's his price now?
4,300.
43. So, like, I think the approach with him is like, they're not going to play AD on back to backs. So, like, you play him on those back to backs. Like, he's probably the guy that gets hurt the most by AD's little 20 minutes. You know what I mean? Like, they're not going to, cut down Randall's play. But, like, when AD's not there, then Check Diallo gets to come in, and he's another one of those go for 30 in 12-minute kind of guys. So he's buying that price for sure on FanDuel, where you could drop him if he sucks, and if he doesn't suck, he's getting you 30 and you're loving it. So yeah, it's cool.
He's like a GPP play for sure, basically.
Yeah.
Let's move on to centers. Let's lock him into centers and we'll get out of here.
Lock him in. No, you lock it up.
No, you lock it up.
Fucking Willie Cauley-Stein is 4,500 against the Clippers, the worst team against centers.
He's 5,500 on FanDuel. Is that just like core play tomorrow?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Because if you look, I mean, just look at the other centers. There are no centers on this slate tomorrow. None of the guys we've been playing. There's no what's Drummond. There's no Jokic. None of those guys. None of them are on here. Go to Stein. Yeah. Why not? I mean,
like 100% you're playing a lot of him. You got Cody Zeller. He's 5'8" on DraftKings against Brooklyn, a known smash spot. Went for 53 against Boogie, after like a series of 30 bots. I think this is, also a direct beneficiary of Jeremy Lamb moving to the second unit. But, I'm taking Willie Cauley-Stein over him all day.
Would he be the highest player on the slate?
I don't know. Like, he's been playing so bad. He's in foul trouble every game. That's partially why, like, Bagley's had that monstrous, like, because he's just been getting all these minutes. And there's some other options, like, Yusuf Nurkic without, Cantor against Toronto. DeAndre Ayton against New Orleans. There's a couple other guys, I'm on like the Marc Gasol train. Like, I feel like he's gonna have a blow up game. Like, the last two games have been blowouts, and he's played 24 minutes. Against Orlando, he started. Against Boston, he came off the bench. But both times he was on his way to playing 30 minutes, and they got blowed out. And like, he's like a triple double waiting to happen. He got 8 assists last game, 5 the game before that, 5 rebounds both games, 6 shots, 13 shots the game before that. He can shoot some threes. He can get you some peripherals. Like, this was a guy that was 8K when he was on Memphis. And like, he's way too cheap. He's 5'2" on DraftKings. I'm guessing he's like 5'6" on FanDuel, somewhere in that.
Who's this?
Marc Gasol.
Marc Gasol's 5'8".
Yeah, like, he's gonna go for 50 very soon. In a close game. They just haven't had one in a while.
You brought up Dedmon in the power forward section for Kings. I mean, for DraftKings, but on FanDuel he's 5,600.
Yep, that's
on center.
Very good play.
So who do you like better, Gasol, Dedmon, or Stein? They're 58, 56, 55. Who do you like best? Tomorrow, right now.
Yeah, I like Stein the most.
Probably the most.
DraftKings at 4 or 5, and probably Dedmon the most on FanDuel, because like Willie Cauley's not a guy that gets a ton of blocks. Like Dedmon can do that stuff and like really jack up his FanDuel score. And, Gasol's another, like, more of a DraftKings triple-double kind of upside, not a ton of blocks kind of guy. So I think it's Dedmon on FD and those other two guys more so on DraftKings.
You think probably Cauley-Stein will probably be higher owned, so it's better to go to Dedmon anyways as just a pivot. They're the same price.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
Pretty much, yeah.
All
right, Paulie, do you want to do top threes and we get out of here?
Yeah, I might need to do like top tens. Yeah.
Okay, while you look at point guards really quick, I'm going to read you the Phillies lineup for 2019 now with Harper. So at first base, all right, this is their projected lineup if they're leading off. I don't know if one guy who's hitting second is going to lead at second. But anyways, we got Cesar Hernandez at second. We got Maikel Franco hitting second, playing third.
No ways Maikel Franco batting second.
I think you put Odubel Herrera or Gene Segura. But anyways, they got Bryce Harper third, Hoskins fourth, Real Muto fifth, Segura sixth, McCutchen seventh, Herrera eighth.
Yeah.
I might put McCutchen second.
Yeah, that's probably what you do. Or McCutchen first.
Or Segura.
Or Hernandez at the bottom,
Yeah.
There's no wrong answer there, though.
There's a good lineup. It's not a crush lineup, but it's a good lineup. It's a very good lineup. I like it.
Yeah, it's not the Yankees, but it's, like in terms of power, but it's like very balanced. Like you got mashers, you've got some speed, you've got, some
good veteran players.
Average, you know what I mean? It's a very good lineup, man. JT Realmuto though is special. What's his numbers going to look like when he's, getting up with multiple guys on and no outs and speed on the bases and leads and, in a hitter's park instead of like the number one pitcher's park or, top 5 pitcher's park. Like he's going to have a great time at that lineup. After Harper and what's his name? It's going to be glorious. You're going to have guys on base all the time.
I mean, I remember Real Muto batted first or second when he was in Florida. So I maybe batted him second. Man, we played him so much.
Yeah.
When FanDuel you could play catcher. Now you can't.
Yeah.
I didn't hate it. I didn't hate it. I just live with it. I don't, it wasn't terrible. What'd you think?
What, that making it a utility?
They took the utility spot. Oh no, wasn't it catcher first base they put together? That's what it was. Yeah.
I don't like it. Like, catcher's a real position in baseball. You should have to roster one. It's like, fantasy was always like you're playing the manager, so like I don't like those like, stupid like loopholes of like, that change like what it's like meant to be.
Yeah.
Like
all right. Paulie D, top threes, point guard.
Text the producer to let him know we're hot. I'll go Kemba Walker. I don't even like remember like what the I think Tomas Satoransky was a good one, and Elf.
You like Rondo?
I do like Rondo. Thank you. That's the one. As long as he's starting.
Yeah. Shooting guard.
Shooting guard. This was like the mid-tier position. Buddy Hield and Brad Beal and Sweet Lou Will.
All right, small forward.
Nick Batum. Just, can't jump off now.
Can't
do it. Won't do it. I need winners. Jabari Parker and Give me that. Give me that. Mo Harkless.
All right. And now let's go to power forward.
Oh. Harry Giles, and the Funky Bunch. We literally talked about this 3 minutes ago. Julius, I'm confused now. Julius Randle, and
it's Friday.
Shit to do. Give me Siakam.
Siakam.
Yeah.
Siakam 7. Siakam 7. Siakam.
Very nice.
In center.
Yeah. Slick Willie Cauley and
Gasol, right? Didn't you like Gasol?
Yeah, Mock and Dwayne Dedmon.
Dedmon. All right. All right. Let's see. I don't think there's anything else to really.
Last chance to get the baseball package tomorrow midnight.
Yes.
Goes up. That's the Godfather's words, not mine.
Yeah. Yes. Just get it.
Do it.
Godfather's just gonna take it. It's gonna be gone.
Yep.
The people in the chat, they're starting to notice that we look a little bit inebriated. We look fucking wasted.
Fucking Thursday night. I'm not wasted.
You're feeling good. Hey, listen, this is. If
day.
they realized, if they had any idea what a stress release just to come on here and talk about sports after dealing with freaking, you want to know what dealing with 3 sick kids are dealing with? That is some of the worst hell you could ever deal with is having sick children. And I'm telling you, just to come on here and talk sports and just kind of vent a little bit and hit the pen and you have cold beers, you know what? That's what I like. You know what I'm saying? This is fun. This is why I do it. I can't wait for baseball season because, it's not going to be such a...
Dazed and Confused.
Oh, yeah.
Living. Livin.
Yeah. We just live and moving. All right, guys. That's going to do it.
We're out.
The Wise Take NBA podcast. So for Paulie D, I'm Patio Joe. And as our man CK always says, good luck.
Yeah.
Let's see if he's still there. If we're not out. Oh, yeah, he's there. Good.